It's now 503 days that Hamas is holding hostages in captivity in Gaza. 69 hostages remain in the terror dungeons, some alive, others not. Hello, everyone. I'm Westropp-Evans, and today is February 20th, 2025. This is the live daily briefing of the Israeli Citizen Spokesperson's Office. Child-sized coffins returned to Israel today. The murdered remains of the Bibas children, alongside their mother and the 85-year-old Oded Lifshitz. Hamas debased the corpses of baby Kfir and Ariel Bibas in a blatant propaganda ceremony designed to hide the fact that they ripped these children and their mother from their home, to use as tools and human shields of their heinous goals. Hamas sees no shame in murdering children, because for them, they are simply a tool. They draw their power from and celebrate such atrocities. Because Hamas is a death cult, one that knows that a dead body is more valuable than a live one because the dead tell no tales. The Hamas militant worshippers of death cannot be our neighbors. There's no future for the children of Israel or of Gaza for that matter, as long as child murderers rule. There must be no future for Hamas, or else there is no future for any of us. Now, Hamas offered to free hostages if Hamas stays armed on Israel's border. Hamas spokesman Hazem Qassem said, Israel's demand to remove Hamas from Gaza is laughable. The resistance will not leave, and disarmament is out of the question. Hamas claims they'll release the hostages they kidnapped on October 7th, only if Hamas can return to their October 6th position with weapons aimed at Israel. October 6th, was the day before Hamas' massacre, the day before the deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust. Now, Hamas has repeatedly vowed to carry out another October 7th massacre again and again. And this is why Israel is guided by these three goals. 1, eliminate Hamas's military capability and political rule in Gaza. 2, bring all the hostages home. And 3, ensure Gaza never again threatens Israel. Hamas wants to return to October 6th because Hamas wants to do another October 7th. Hamas wants to destroy Israel. And Israel cannot return to October 6th because Israel will not endure another October 7th. Now, I'd just like to say clearly and to stress that Hamas would not be holding any hostages without the support of Turkey and Qatar. Qatar is a US major non-NATO ally and hosts major US bases. Meanwhile, Turkey is a NATO member, and Turkey hosts also major US bases. Qatar and Turkey both host Hamas leadership. And to everyone listening, please tell your leaders this. Qatar and Turkey must tell Hamas to lay down its arms and free the hostages. Qatar and Turkey must send their Hamas guests into prison. And Hamas and Turkey must stop supporting terror. All right, let's take some questions from our audience watching live on social media.
Thank you, Asher. Our first question comes from our Instagram stories. Hamas is claiming that the Bibas children were killed in an Israeli airstrike. How do you respond to this?
That is a frankly ludicrous statement. And I've heard others say across social media, it's comparable to saying that Anne Frank was killed by typhus when she was in fact being held in Nazi death camps. This is an absolutely insane idea to even suggest that those murdering terrorists that took these children and their mother and their father for that matter, although thankfully he has returned alive, but took these children and their mother from their homes into Gaza, held them in their terror dungeons, did God knows what to this poor family, and are directly responsible for the deaths of these young children. For anyone looking to obfuscate, for anyone looking to try and change the narrative, I need you to all look carefully and think carefully about what you're trying to do here. These terrorists kidnapped these children. They held them for ransom. They used them as tools in order to try and harm and attack, debase and demean Israel. That is how they saw these children. And as a result, these poor little babes in arms died under the most horrendous of circumstances. For anyone trying to change the narrative, to change the tune, to pass the blame, I ask you to take a good hard look at yourself and think about this situation that Hamas has put us all in.
Thank you. Our next question comes from X. Can you please describe the atmosphere in Israel today and how the people are coping with this horrific news?
Well, this is a dark day. This is a dark day for anyone. This is a dark day for anyone who has any sense of humanity, understanding of the atrocities that have occurred here. And Israel is truly in mourning this day. Not just for these two children in particular, but for all those victims of October 7th and in the time since that have been killed, hurt, maimed, or whatnot in the wake of Hamas's terror onslaught on that heinous day. This is a difficult day for everyone. You know, this war has been hard all across the region, but this day hurts considerably more than many in the past. I've been speaking to friends, family, loved ones, and those all around me in Israel today, and everyone is feeling the weight and burden of this day. And we can only hope that in the future we will have brighter days that we can look to. We will have the return of more hostages, as we hope to have just this coming Saturday, where hopefully 6 more living hostages will be returned. And to see some light on the horizon for some, even as we see such darkness for this family. It is truly an unbearable day, but as Israelis, we will pick ourselves up and we will continue on as we have done for so many years now, and we will continue to do into the future until we move past this era of tyranny and cruelty that we've seen from Hamas for now so many years.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Aviva on Instagram. Do we have any update on phase 2 of the ransom deal?
Aviva, sadly, we don't at this stage. At the moment, we don't know whether or not we will be able to negotiate and put forward a phase 2 deal. We know that this is the goal for so many, that we would like to see a phase 2 deal continue. But we also know the facts on the ground, which are that Hamas actually moved up the particular elements of this phase 1 deal, releasing more of the living hostages they have available so that Israel would in turn release more Hamas terrorists that they want to get back into their hands so they can continue to commit terror and atrocities again and again. Hamas has been decimated, has been utterly obliterated so much, but obviously not completely, as these 6 ceremonies that we see week after week have shown. We know that Hamas is looking to regain power, to reunify, to take back control of Gaza so they continue committing atrocities into the future. So we don't know if phase 2 is really in their interests, if they really want to move forward with it, and if they are honest brokers, which they most certainly are not. But we do hope that a phase 2 deal can be arranged, that we can get all the rest of our hostages back. As we've said so many times before, this really is our number 1 goal.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Rob on Instagram. Do we know where the humanitarian agencies that are supposed to protect human rights have been throughout this?
Rob, it's a critical question. It's an important question. And, as we've seen now, the Red Cross, who for the entire 16 months of this war so far were unable to verify the status of any of the hostages that were being held by Hamas, have appeared now, helping to facilitate the transfer of hostages out of Gaza. There certainly has been a lack of humanitarian response in certain fields and in certain areas, but I won't take this moment to attack any individual organization. All we can do is hope and pray that those humanitarian organizations continue to remember their key missions in ensuring that people, no matter which side they are protected, are cared for, are given the humanitarian assistance that they need, while simultaneously not harboring the sort of hateful terror activity that we've seen Hamas use. We want to make sure that these facilities, these resources, this infrastructure that's meant to be used for humanitarian purposes is truly used for those purposes. That is an absolutely critical mission that we are trying for here.
Thank you. This is our final question. Amy on YouTube asks, what is the course of action for Israel now? How do we move forward after this tragic day?
We move forward as we have always done in the past in the wake of tragedy. As we did in the wake of October 7th, we move forward together in unity, fighting to ensure that we get our hostages home, fighting to ensure that we keep Israel safe and that we never allow such heinous atrocities to occur again. This is what Israel was built for. This is the reason that Israel exists, and this is the strength of Israel and the Israeli people. We stand together. We truly do in these times, whether they be good times or bad, and we fight for what is right. We fight for democratic principles. We fight for the sort of Western liberal ideals that Israel was founded upon. We fight to ensure that we can have a future in safety and peace for this nation and all its people. And we will continue to do so in this dark day and hopefully in the many bright sunny days that occur for everyone in the future. All right, that is all we have time for today and for this week. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back on Sunday at 3 p.m. Israel time. That's 8 a.m. on the East Coast. I'm wishing all out there a Shabbat Shalom. I'm Westropp-Evans. Thanks for watching.